Hey you guys, so I'm back with another reading. I wanted to balance it out a little bit and just do the Divine Feminine too. So what's the Divine Feminine feeling right now that either Divine Masculines want to know or just what we kind of in our subconscious or maybe things we're not aware of as Divine Feminines. I'm going to go into some obstacles we're facing, some subconscious obstacles, so things that we Divine Feminines may not know that they're facing. Just sort of what we're not showing our face right now, what we're not acting like we feel, what we actually feel deep down. So a lot of Divine Masculines might want to know these answers, but again, we might want to know them too, just to kind of channel into how we can heal and how we can get over those last few humps there to really reach our point, our best point. Okay, so Spirit guides, universe, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of freestyle this, channel in some messages for the collective Divine Feminines out there, and figure out what we have. Okay, so Spirit guides, universe, Divine Feminines out there. What are they thinking, feeling on a subconscious level? What is unseen for the Divine Feminines? Spirit guides, universe. Thank you so much. Okay. I think it's important to balance it out. You don't want to just have the Divine Masculine everywhere, because then what happens is the Divine Feminines focus too much on that and they forget about their own healing, because we still have to heal. We still have things in the way that we're not maybe aware of. So it's important to watch both of them for all those readings out there. It's important to really balance it out. Okay. Divine Feminines. Let's just start with what's in the Divine Feminine's headspace right now. What is in the Divine Feminine's headspace? Just in general. Okay. So we have this card here about temptation, card about just being sort of obsessed with yourself, not seeing anything else other than yourself. And this card here is about what kind of image do you really want to portray to the world? So what kind of image did she want to portray to her Divine Masculine? What image is she portraying now? But what I get with this is that in the past, the Divine Feminines have been very, very focused upon their union. So with this card here, I just feel like what she's actually been focusing upon is this temptation from the Divine Masculine. So she's really coming from a place where she could not see past that mirror here in her hand. So when she reflected back on herself, she was looking at her own troubles. She was looking at all of her faults. She was looking at, why am I so tempted? This is like, to me, it's an equivalent of a devil card. It's just about temptation and just giving into those temptations. At what point do you stop giving into those temptations? So I just feel like these two go together. So the Divine Feminine, again, she just has placed so much emphasis in the past on looking too much at the things that were wrong. So the things that were negative in herself, the things that were negative in the relationship with her Divine Masculine. And this was all due to this negative energy here of this devilish looking card of all these temptations. So what I really feel is that these two are in the past. So this is where she's coming from. I'm just going to say that's where she's coming from. This here is she has decided to put on a new mask. So we have all these masks here, and you can choose I mean, every day we step out the door, we can choose what mask we want to wear. Do we want to act like this? Do we want to act like that? How do we really want to be seen, and how do we want to be perceived by other people? So this is telling me that right now, the Divine Feminine has chosen to put on a mask that is rising above all of these things here in the past. So this mask that she was wearing before was a mask where she really wasn't herself. She was blinded by that temptation. She was blinded by the negativity of this union. She wasn't seeing her true Divine Feminine being. She wasn't seeing that. So she has chosen now to put on the correct mask, to put on the mask of really just being her authentic self. This is just such an authenticity? I think that's how you pronounce it. This is just really her being in her true state. So this is where she's at right now. So let's get some clarifications. But this, she has really chosen to, so she's been wearing different types of masks. I feel like a lot of Divine Feminines have, throughout the years, they have really not been able to find their identity. They haven't really been able to say, this is who I absolutely am. So maybe they've been, in different situations that require different things of them, maybe different types of jobs, different types of relationships that really didn't work for them, unfulfilling relationships, getting involved with the wrong people that end up hurting them. And what this was actually caused by was a self-obsession here with herself in a way that she might not have known that she was self-obsessed. It was a self-obsession as in looking at all your flaws. It wasn't one that you look in the mirror and say, I'm so awesome. It was, she's been looking at all her flaws for so long. So she has now just decided to put on her perfect mask, the one that she was really given to come into this lifetime with, the one that she was really given to be at her true potential. And if some of them haven't completely put on their mask, they're trying on new masks. They're trying on more positive masks, the ones that are going to help them. Clarification for where the Divine Feminine is at right now in her journey. Yeah, so this we know, victory and success. So the Divine Feminines right now are really feeling on top of the world. They really are. They're beginning to be in more fulfilling places. They're being in more fulfilling friendships, more fulfilling jobs, more fulfilling just understanding what they really want to achieve in the world. That's where they're at. And this mask that that they're wearing is what's achieving that. So they're coming into their place where they are in complete vibrational alignment with the things that they really want. And it feels good. That's how they're feeling. They're feeling like, wow, this is actually who I am. I'm putting on the correct mask now, and they're realizing that the person that I kind of feel that I am right now feels right. So things are just feeling right as far as how they're interacting with other people and other situations. They're just feeling like they're, just in complete alignment with things. So we have the Two of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So to me, what this is saying is she's not letting the Divine Masculine come in and out of her life anymore. So this is how I'm going to read this. The Two of Swords, she's actually putting the swords in front of her heart. Not putting the swords in front of her heart as in an egotistical way where she's just being emotional about it and crying over it and saying that I don't deserve this. That's not why she's putting the swords in front of her chest. She's actually putting the swords in front of her chest is because she's blocking out the Divine Masculine to come in and out of her life again. That's why. So this kind of goes with this temptation card we first got. This new mask that she's wearing here, this new mask is a mask that is not going to let temptation affect her. So what she's going to do is she's putting up her little swords in front of her heart, and she's saying, no, I'm not going to let someone be the Knight of Wands here, and I'm not going to let them just charge into my life with no set intention. So this is directly geared towards the Divine Masculine. This is who this is. So these are for all those Divine Masculines who have just been sweeping in and out of the Divine Feminine's life, just leaving without any goodbye, just disappearing. And she's saying no more of that, because I now know which mask I'm going to wear. I now have found myself, so your temptation really is not going to sway me anymore. So Two of Swords, don't even try. Two of Swords is just, she's also blocking herself out from the union right now. So to me, twos are always indication of twin flames. So when we get the Two of Swords, she's really just not wanting to communicate too much with the Divine Masculine, because she's just very upset with his Knight of Wands action that he's been carrying, and he's still a little bit carrying that. So that's where she's at right now in her headspace. Let's get one of these. I'm not going to, it's like a barrier she's putting over her chest, like an armor. Like, no, you're not going to charge in on your knight, on your horse, and be a Wands energy and just be too passionate and then not have it last. I'm only going to accept you maybe if you're the King of Wands, not the Knight of Wands. She's being impatient. She's saying, when are you going to grow up, Divine Masculines? When are you going to just realize that I'm not going to accept you when you're a Knight of Wands? So the Knight of Wands to me is someone who just is immature, who doesn't really have the best intentions. Like I said, these are the Divine Masculines who come in and out of the life. So she's saying, I'm feeling incredibly impatient with you, so I'm just going to guard my heart right now, because I know what mask I'm wearing. I know who I am. And I know this is also, to me, is she's been wearing, again, different masks in the past. So some of these masks have been one where she can just allow this Divine Masculine to change her mask. So it's like, you see how there's like 3 different women here. So it's like this was her before, over here in the corner. This was the Divine Feminine in the corner that was insecure. She was not sure of what she wanted in a partnership. She was saying that she doesn't care how the Divine Masculine treats her. And this was part of that. So now, once she's kind of merged into her new mask here, her new mask involves this guarding. So she wasn't really guarded before. This was more actually, this Two of Swords came up a lot for me in the past with the Divine Masculines, because they were just not seeing anything. They were just guarded. They were just saying, I'm not going to give anything away. I'm not going to give my heart away. But this has again transitioned into the Divine Feminine. She's impatient. So impatient. So let's get more. So yeah. No more of this. Divine Feminines. Yes. She's really just beginning to understand impartiality. She's saying, I know what it's like to be, again, this is like a card transitioning into different parts of yourself. So the old parts of the Divine Feminine are dying. They're not even there anymore. So she's transitioning. This woman is just like understanding which part of her is really going to come forth the most and have the most success. And she's completed. See, completion. So the Divine Feminines right now are really in a stage where they're completing things. This is the sacral chakra too. So she's really just feeling her passion. She's feeling her success. She's feeling very happy and very empowered in the fact that she is guarding her heart against the Divine Masculine's immature behaviors. That's what I get. Because she's finally feeling impatient. Impatient. Okay? That is where the Divine Feminine's at right now in her headspace. So let's go ahead and look at any maybe subconscious obstacles that she's facing. So what are some obstacles that the Divine Feminine is facing right now? What are some obstacles that either we know about or we don't know about? Some obstacles the Divine Feminine is facing. perception. So this is a card about looking at things through someone else's eyes. So what I get from this is that she, even though she's starting to kind of let the Divine Masculine go because she is feeling impatient, she's feeling guarded, she hasn't really yet completely understood what it's like to be him. So she really has not stepped into his shoes 100%. So a lot of times, or she could be jumping to conclusions still, the Divine Feminines. So even though they think they know everything, so they think that it's just in straight terms, that the Divine Masculine has hurt me, the Divine Masculine is not coming back, I'm tired of this, which, I'm guilty of that too, we all are. But this is what this is saying, is that have you really stood in his shoes? So have you really understood completely where he's coming from? So this is still an obstacle of hers, is to really understand from an unconditional love point of view where the Divine Masculine might be coming from. So sometimes the Divine Feminines have been, again, harsh on them. It's like some of us are still not cleared 100% of our ego. So we look at things just in egotistical terms and not really looking at maybe the pain that the Divine Masculine is feeling right now. A little bit of that selfishness is persisting with some Divine Feminines because they haven't completely understood what it was like to be him. So I think it's telling us, this too I just got, this is the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine together. So this is this swapping between the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine energies. So what I feel too is that since this came as an obstacle, it's like she has to know what it's like to be in her masculine state, which I think a lot of Divine Feminines are transitioning into, and vice versa. So this is still an obstacle, is to understand each other, to understand the struggles from his eyes. So that's another obstacle that the Divine Feminine is facing. New beginnings. So I think what I get with this is she really just, the Divine Feminines still don't know which direction to go. Yes, they are feeling a new beginning. Yes, they are feeling like they want something new. But should I move on or should I not move on? Do I really want this new beginning or do I not want this new beginning? So I think a lot of Divine Feminines are sort of like one day they'll feel like they want to move on and never look back. They want to make a big transition. And then the next day they say, never mind, I think maybe I'll just wait a little bit longer. Perception. So this is the second kind of card here about perception. So she's really just learning. Another obstacle is just to perceive things in the correct way. So not to perceive things too quickly, not to judge someone too harshly, not to judge the Divine Masculine too harshly. And even with other people, I get, like, not kind of understanding from a place of compassion where other people are coming from. So even if they are feeling a lot more passionate, a lot more, or I should say compassionate, a lot more confident in themselves, they might still have to have a little bit more empathy for people, and I do feel like it's connected more to the Divine Masculine. So that's still an obstacle she's facing. The heart chakra is not completely, this is the heart chakra card, or one of them. So that still seems to be an obstacle here, and that's a surprise to me too, because I know that for myself too, I feel like I understand where he's coming from, but I guess a lot of Divine Feminines, if you think about it, do you really know what he's feeling? I mean, yeah, we are connected with them in the 5D. We kind of know what they're feeling, but not 100%. So he could be feeling so much pain, and we're feeling so impatient with him. So really understanding someone else's point of view and looking at things objectively, I think, is what this is saying as an obstacle, is a little bit more of what the Divine Feminines need to do. So let's look at how the Divine Feminine sees the Divine Masculine right now. So, in case any Divine Masculines are watching, how does the Divine Feminine see the Divine Masculine right now? Divine timing card, the time. So she sees her divine masculine as taking forever. Right? This is no surprise here. So this is the light that she sees the divine masculine in. She's seeing him, why are you taking so long? Like, I've been waiting for so long, and I feel like nothing changes. And I'm getting impatient. We got the impatient card for her. So they're really feeling impatient. That's on the forefront right now. The divine feminine's mind is impatience. Impatience, but also balancing the fact of having a new beginning. So they're in that struggle still, where the divine feminines are thinking, I want to still wait a little bit. I'm feeling impatient, and I want things to happen now. But then again, I kind of want to just say, screw this, I'm going to move on, and I'm never going to look back. That's just a balance that they haven't achieved. Wow. So this is how she sees the divine masculine. The Tower. And the Five of Swords. These are cards about lots of struggle, lots of negativity attached to them. She's feeling like, why are you taking so long, divine masculines, to jump off of your cliff here and end your tower moment? So she kind of sees the divine masculine as a bit of a disaster right now, to be honest. So a lot of divine feminines are saying, why can't you get over this struggle here? This is the Five of Swords. Why can't you get over your internal struggles already? Why are you taking so long doing it? And again, this is what I just get here. This is what I get. So since we got this card about being in someone else's shoes, she's seeing the divine masculine again as in a way of just being a disaster. So why can't you, impatience and being just having his world is crumbling down. That's how she sees the divine masculine, of just being a mess. But since we got this here as the obstacle, this is what it is saying. Don't judge your divine masculine too quickly, because you're not in his shoes. This journey is about understanding. So think about all the times in the past where you acted crazy or too emotional or whatever it could be. So this is asking, Spirit is asking the divine feminines right now to really take a step into the divine masculine shoes and say, I understand what it's like to lose your mind. I understand what it's like that you need time to heal. And that's the obstacle we're facing. Impatience. I mean, 2 time cards here. So this is a huge obstacle still persisting in the divine feminines, is that they want things now. They want things now. But it's that balance. It's like, I want the divine masculine to come forth to me now, but I want to move on. But I want him to come to me now, but I want to move on. So it's and not understanding that the divine masculines need their time to go through their dark night of the soul. They need their time to battle things, because I'm just getting a message now. This is the divine masculine too coming through right now and talking. And he's saying, don't you want me to fight my battles before I achieve harmony with you? Don't you want me to not have these birds here around me that I have to fight off all the time? Don't you want just me to yourself? That's what the divine masculine is just saying right now. I just got. Because think about it. Once you fight off of all your battles and all of your demons, what happens? You can be harmonious with the person you want to be harmonious with. It's like, it's like third wheeling. There's always somebody there in the way. You don't want that. You want that time together, just solely the two of you. And that's what he's saying, is I want this to just be you and I. But you have to be patient with me, because you don't really know what it's like to be me. You don't know the struggles I'm going through right now. So divine feminines, yeah, they see him as a mess. How does divine feminine see the divine masculine right now? An impasse, not making a move. So she sees the divine masculine right now as just standing still and not doing anything. And she's saying here again, there's so much impatience going on with the divine feminines right now. She's saying, I've been waiting forever. You know that I have. Why are you still standing there, not doing anything? Why can't you just fight off of your demons here? Why can't you just jump off of this cliff and have your tower moment and just get it over with? Just like jumping out of this building here and leaving everything behind. Why can't you just get going? they're feeling incredibly impatient, and they see the divine masculine as just not making any moves. They see him as kind of just disappeared. Like they're thinking in their minds, a lot of divine feminines are saying, what happened to my divine masculine? Where did he go? He just dropped off the face of the earth. I haven't seen him in forever. I haven't heard from him. It's almost like they're just ghosting everyone. Ghosting them. They're just invisible, like, to the divine feminines right now. And a lot of this is piquing their curiosity, I think, too, which is part of the intriguing part of this, is part of the attraction that is still lingering, I think, for the divine feminines, is that they're wondering what's going on with the divine masculines. They're being so silent. So that's how they see the divine masculines, as being a bit of a mystery right now, and just being a mess and being a mystery. So let's just find out here what needs to be healed in the divine feminine. So what needs to be healed? Okay. So what is something that really needs to be healed for the divine feminines to really move forward? To achieve that harmony. Needs to be healed in the divine feminine. Self-worth. So this is the card we got in the divine masculine reading, on how he just is very attracted right now to the divine feminine. He's being very drawn to her. And this came out as what needs to be healed. So I think maybe a lot of divine feminines right now, what I'm getting is that even though they're feeling much more confident in themselves, they're feeling much like they have much more magnetism. This is a card I think, since it came for healing, it's coming up to me as some of the divine feminines are not still 100% confident in themselves. So they still have those lingering doubts about themselves, and it's coming from this impatience, I think, from not hearing from the divine masculine, because you have to remember that a lot of divine feminines are coming from a place where their divine masculine was their identity almost. And I just got that too, since we got this card here about looking in that mirror here and being sort of obsessed with yourself. Their divine masculine has really defined who they were in the past. These two are in the past. So they have really not had a sense of self-identity coming from the past. So they're just now regaining that self-identity. And parts of it still are not healed. So I think a lot of divine feminines right now have not completely healed their heart chakra. I'm seeing a lot of red, so they haven't healed their sacral chakra. They really haven't found their passion completely. So that still is something that we have to take into consideration, that the divine feminines aren't perfect. We put a lot of emphasis on the divine masculines being a mess, since we see them as a mess. We see that. But are we really healed completely or entirely? Are we really, if you ask, are you ready to give your divine masculine yourself in its entirety and not have any baggage attached? Probably not. I know I'm not. So what needs to be healed in the divine feminine? Material and spiritual prosperity. So what I get from this is a lot of divine feminines right now are spiritually growing. A lot of them are coming onto this channel, on YouTube, and coming on to a lot of new information spiritually wise involving their twin flame union. I'm still learning new things every day too. And what's happening is that it's sort of a balance thing. So material and spiritual prosperity. So this is the Six of Pentacles. And really just still trying to balance that out too. So there's still balance involved with the divine feminines too. It's not just the divine masculines that need balance. So really continuing to propel forward, understanding that there's always something more to be learned is what I feel needs to be healed here. So learning how she can be a confident woman to apply this material prosperity and so let's see here. Strength and 5 of Wands. Yes. So strength. It's funny that this came up again, sort of with the same. To me, these are connected. So being strong in who you are, being able to tame your own limitations. So a lot of divine feminines are still taming a lot of their insecurities, is just what I'm feeling right now. They're still not totally confident, of course. So that's what they're taming. And 5 of Wands to me is, it's really just, again, about having all of these things that they haven't completely, haven't battled away. So it's like you're talking the talk, but can you walk the walk? I don't know, for some reason I just got that phrase pop in my head. But yeah, so she's feeling like a lot of them just haven't completely healed their insecurities. A lot of them haven't tamed their maybe their childhood traumas, or their past relationship traumas, or something like that, and they're still battling that. So until you can really completely battle that, you can't be confident that you will be able to sustain a relationship with your divine masculine. So to stop kind of putting the emphasis on only that, and really just continue to learn. I just get a lot of learning here. So the divine feminines just need to understand that there's a lot more to learn. Okay? Alright. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull some guidance questions here. So what is just some guidance from the angels? I'm going to use this and these. So I like this. I like this this energy, but I don't know. Some of it's a little surprising to me, but I think it's pretty accurate. I think that there's still a lot of insecurities going around. It's maybe not wanting to admit it. But so what is the divine guidance right now for the divine feminines on how to proceed? So what path, what should they focus on? What should they do right now? What does need to be emphasis on? Divine feminines. Advice. Pay yourself first. Make yourself your most important financial obligation by setting aside a portion of your income every time you're paid, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so with this I see pay yourself first as in give yourself self-love first. I'm not connecting this to financial. I mean, it could be financial too, but I think what this is really saying is remember yourself first. Don't let your divine masculine steal your identity again. Don't let him take it and run away with it. You need to focus still on you because, again, this whole journey, that's what it is. That's part of it, is just focusing on yourself and letting your divine masculine focus on himself and not getting too caught in the illusions of being separate from him. So pay yourself first. That's the divine guidance. Let's get one more. Just not letting anyone take your identity again. Staying true to things that you still have to be open to learning. Not closing yourself off to learning new things. No more complaining. Complaints are affirmations of victimhood, which is never true spiritually. Take back your God-given power by affirming that you have an abundance of choices and freedom. With your increased confidence and assertiveness, watch these positive affirmations blossom into reality. So this kind of, to me, really goes, this is really blending in well. So having the Strength card with this attractive woman here has a lot of magnetism, and no more complaining as your affirmations, your increased confidence. These are still what the divine feminine needs to heal. Is just standing true to the things she wants. So not swaying to temptation. So if the divine masculine comes back, not just throwing everything out the window that you learned, throwing all of your stuff out the window because you're swooning over it, but really just standing true to your strength and knowing that you come first, pay yourself first. Knowing that if you do, this is part of the journey. So knowing that this is how you're going to reach reunion. This is what the spirit guides are telling me right now. That this is how the divine feminines are going to, on their side, going to contribute to reunion, is by really just continuing to put the emphasis on themselves, taming any, I think, like, a lot of emotions here, taming any egos, taming any emotions, taming any harsh thoughts. Yes, okay, I just got that. Complaining about the divine masculine. Taming those thoughts. Because complaints are negative emotions, negative feelings that get put into the universe to come back to you in a negative way. So this is a taming thing. So she's taming all of these complaints and all of these questions she has about still the union, about the divine masculine, instead of really realizing her worth as a attractive, magnetic type of woman who can attract whatever she wants. So realizing that the potential really lays in you. So you attract your reality. You attract things you want. That's what I'm getting. Okay? So let's leave it at that with that last little guidance. I'm going to recap because I like it. So the divine feminines are coming from a place of temptation. They are coming from a place where they were really, really focused on their flaws. They were focused on the divine masculine, really, like, again, giving them their identity. So not really having a separate identity because they were so focused on him and they were so focused that he really chose her identity, so to speak. And really, let's go over here. She's saying, I know I found my correct mask. I found, after all this looking in the mirror, I found my correct mask. And my correct mask is, right now, is not letting things come in and out of my life and staying true to who I am. So guarding my heart a little bit more. I'm not going to just give it away like I used to, just freely. And Knight of Wands, not letting actions come in and out of my life from my divine masculine. Completing everything. So coming to completion, coming to full circle, understanding that everything in the past happened, everything presently is happening, and not really dwelling on everything, but completing the things you've learned. Increasing your perception and also your ability to really understand what it's like to be the divine masculine, understand what it's like to be other people, being a little bit more empathetic, being a little bit more, understanding where he's coming from when he acts a certain way, that it's not all about you. This is a selfish card, the first card we got. So not falling back into the selfishness of it. She sees her divine masculine as a tower, disaster, 5 of Swords, conflict, impasse, not making a move, taking forever, and impatient. So that's a very self-focused energy, though, I just realized. Complaining about how long your divine masculine is taking, which I get. I'm not saying I mean, I'm guilty of all these things, so really understanding that there's strength in yourself, really just paying yourself first, understanding your attraction as a woman, as a divine feminine, no more complaining. Don't look into things so deeply with the divine masculine. Still battling your little demons too, so it's not just him that has demons still. Yeah, you might be more spiritually inclined than him. You're further along in the spiritual journey for most people, not everyone. But that's what it's saying, is really just taking a step into his shoes, connecting with him on a 5D, and just understanding that everything is happening in divine timing. I know this card has just been popping up everywhere for the divine feminines. So, not being impatient. Okay, so, yep, that's the divine feminines right now. That's just taking a look into their mind. So, hopefully you identified with some of that. I know I did. So, All right. Well, that's all I have for today. So stay tuned and much love to you.